just buttery Ritz crackers on a chicken casserole. Oh, what is more homey than that? Nothing. Hey y'all, welcome to Better with Biscuits. I'm Dylan and welcome back to the kitchen. A big welcome to all the new subscribers and a welcome back to those that have been around. I'm working ahead of time getting some prep done for dinner tonight. So I figured the house is quiet, why not film it? So we're making a chicken casserole. We are not big casserole as main dish people. We'd rather have like a meat and two. But there are the exceptions, and this is one of them. It's so good. It's the classic chicken broccoli rice casserole, but it's kind of souped up. It's packed full of flavor. You can prep some of the ingredients ahead of time and just put it all together and put it in the oven, which is what I've kind of done today. So let's get to it. All right, to my large skillet, I have added 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter and about maybe a tablespoon of olive oil. Why do I do both? Because if you put just butter in a skillet and turn up the heat, it's going to burn. But if you put olive oil in it, it doesn't burn. Olive oil has a higher heat resistance than butter. So I'm going to turn this on up. Oh, we're going to do medium. And we're just going to pre-cook our chicken for our chicken casserole. I had a pack of 2 pretty good sized chicken breasts that were individually wrapped in that one pack, and I didn't plan ahead and thaw them out the night before. So I had to do it in the microwave, and I had to do all of it. So I don't know that I'm going to need all of this chicken for the casserole, but I'm going to go ahead and cook it all the same way I would for the casserole, and then it'd be really good on a salad. So 2 dinners for the work of 1. All right. So I'm actually going to put that on up because we need to sear this chicken. Let's season up the chicken before we put it in there. Of course, we're going to need some salt, chicken hand, seasoning hand. Don't mix them up. Pepper. And I don't know what rock I've been living under, but I'm new to the Dano's fan club, but I'm a fan. I'm just using the Dano's original all-purpose seasoning. Full disclosure, this is my first time cooking with Dano's original, but it smells divine. So my hands are clean, and when this gets in this pan, this cutting board's going in the sink, and this is going to get Cloroxed. So keep your kitchen clean. Okay, so now this is good and bubbly. So in the chicken goes. You know, a lot of chicken casseroles are dump and go. Like you just put it all in there and stir it up and cook it. I personally like cooking the chicken this way before putting it all together because it lets you season in layers. So everything's going to get some flavor. This is going to be a very flavorful casserole. I've made it before and I like it a lot. So I'm excited to share it with y'all. All right, y'all, the chicken is browning nicely. It's not all the way done, so it's got a little bit of time left to cook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a medium onion, and I'm going to saute it with the chicken and the butter and the olive oil. And I'm going to take about maybe a tablespoon, maybe not quite a tablespoon of minced garlic. And I'm going to get that stirred around too. Now, careful with your minced garlic. If you try to cook it the entire time with the chicken and you don't keep it moving, it'll burn. I'm going to put a lid on that just to let those onions get good and tender. It's going to bake, but we don't really like biting into a really crunchy onion. So, I've got a lid on that. I'm going to let it simmer for a little bit, let that chicken get finished cooking, let the garlic get aromatic, and the onions get sauteed, and we'll be back when that's done. All right, y'all, the chicken is done. As you can see, I kind of diced it up into little cubes before I cooked it. Missed one. It's good and seasoned. It's been cooked with the salt, the pepper, the Dano's original, some onion and garlic. I'm going to let this cool because, as I said before, I'm home for the morning, but I'm going to get this stirred up to bake when I get home tonight after I go into work for the afternoon. and it's got to go in the refrigerator. And the rest of the ingredients for the casserole are already chilled. So I'm going to let this get really good and cool, and I'll bring you back when we stir it up, and I'll show you what it looks like when we do that. All right, y'all, the chicken has cooled. And like I said, I let that cool because all the rest of the stuff had been prepped yesterday, and I didn't want to put hot chicken in cold food and put it back in the refrigerator. So I waited till it was good and cool. So here we go. We just got to assemble it. It's a chicken broccoli rice casserole. What I did was I took 16 ounces of frozen broccoli and I steamed it on the stove yesterday and put it in the refrigerator, and I've chopped it today. Done. Then I took a cup and a quarter of just white long grain rice, and I cooked it in some chicken broth. Now you say, why does this rice look yellow? And I tell you why. It's because I made my chicken broth with the better than bouillon, and so it was a little potent on the chicken flavor. And so it tinged my rice the yellow color, but hey, that just means flavor. Amen? Okay. This is 1 1/4 cup of cooked long grain white rice. Now you're going to need a big old bowl. A big old bowl. Woo-wee. Mercy. I don't know if that bowl's big enough. 16 ounces, more or less, whatever you like, of cooked, steamed. You can put it in there raw. It's going to bake. Broccoli. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a definite plate of chicken and onions and garlic. And I'm going to add probably at least half of this one. Now, again, this was 2 massive boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I cooked. I had to cook it all because I had to thaw it out, and it was in a pack of 2. So I'm not going to put all of it in there, but I mean, it's a chicken casserole, so you want enough chicken in there to constitute it being a chicken casserole, right? Okay. Now we're going to add a 1/2 cup. Usually my recipes are 1/3 cup, but this one's a 1/2 cup of sour cream. You know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good if it's got some sour cream and some cream of chicken and some cheese. What can go wrong? All right. We're going to add that. We're going to add our homemade cream of chicken soup. I think I'm going to have this in a video by itself because it's just an all-purpose good recipe to know how to do in case you get in the kitchen and you make a casserole and you don't have the cream of chicken soup. You got one. So 10.5 ounces of homemade cream of chicken. Give that a stir. All right. Now, I don't know a casserole that don't have cheese in it. So, this is a bag of cheese that needs to be finished up. It don't matter what kind of cheese you use. You can use all sharp. You can use a blend like I'm doing. All right. It's probably a cup of cheese. Now, this makes a pile. You can make it in 2 small pans, bake one, freeze one. I probably should do that. You can make a big pan and take it to a church dinner or a potluck. Or, I mean, I would be hesitant to say, but I'm going to say it. This is Sunday dinner worthy. And I know my way around a good Sunday dinner. And if I was in a hurry and didn't have time to throw down, but I still wanted something good, I'd cook this. Sure would. I want it to be a little creamy. So we're going to put a little of this seriously sharp in there. All right. I knew I was going to forget something. 1/2 cup of milk. Just add to the creaminess. All right. But now this would be seriously good at any kind of potluck, homecoming, church dinner, family dinner. All right. I am actually, everything in here is cooked. The rice, the broccoli, the chicken is all cooked. I'm going to taste it just to make sure I don't need to season anything else. You don't want under-seasoned food. Don't want over-seasoned, but you don't want under. That's good. That is good. Now, keep in mind, we have seasoned the chicken with Danos. We've got garlic and onion in there. I'm going to do just a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean just a sprinkling of salt. I had somebody comment on something and say, you put in as much seasoning in the whole dish that I'd put in one bite. Listen, your kitchen. You cook how you want to cook. Season to your taste. Season to your liking. This is how I cook. You know, I'm a firm believer that you can add more when it's on your plate or in your bowl. But if you put it in this, you can't take it out. So I season, but I season, I would say, moderately conservatively, just because once it's in there, it's in there. You can't take it out. So, but again, season how you like it. I've taken a big old dish. You need a big old bowl. You need a big old dish. This is really just a 9 by 13, but it's the biggest size casserole we have. And I'm just gonna, I've sprayed it, so I'm just gonna turn this out into the casserole dish. This is a wonderful recipe to take to somebody that's been sick, somebody just had a baby, you know, unfortunately if somebody passed away, this would, because you know we do that in the South. You know, you had a baby, we're gonna bring you food. You had a death in the family, we're gonna bring you food, because everybody knows we eat our feelings. At least I do. Anyway, and there she goes, lipping full, but she's gonna be good. All right, now I'm gonna take just a little bit more cheese and sprinkle over the top, just a little bit. We're not gonna go crazy or nothing. Just a little. All right, now the topping of any good casserole is going to have some kind of cracker or breadcrumb or something on it. So, now this is a topic of debate in our house. My wife doesn't think that you need to put butter in Ritz crumbs because Ritz are already buttery. While that's true, I like for it to kind of come together and not be crumbly all over everything. So I put butter in my Ritz crumbs. You do you. And I've got 3 tablespoons of melted butter in that bowl. I'm going to do a sleeve and a half. Why are you doing it in a bowl, you asked? Why don't you just sprinkle the crumbs on top and pour the butter over it? Well, here's why. I'll tell you why. I like for the butter to be evenly distributed on the cracker crumbs. If you just drizzle the butter, every cracker crumb is not going to be coated in butter, and you're going to have some areas of your casserole with a crumbly topping. If you do it in a bowl and you ensure that all the cracker crumbs get a touch of butter on them, then it's going to be a more cohesive topping on your casserole. You learn something new every day. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take the Ritz crumbs, sprinkle it on top. Now listen, when you put this in the oven, I will probably cover it with some foil just because it's going to be in the refrigerator for most of the day, and I want it to get good and warmed through. So I'm going to put some foil on it when I put it in the oven at 350. You know, I mean, this is, everything's cooked. So as you're not cooking it, you're just warming it through. I'm going to put some foil on it, put it in the oven at 350, probably keep the foil on it for 20 minutes, take the foil off for 5 to 10 minutes and let the crackers get good and brown. But when you put this in the oven and you take it out, your house is going to smell like home. I mean, just buttery Ritz crackers on a chicken casserole. Oh, what is more homey than that? Nothing. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Look, I tilted it up and the crackers didn't even move. Why? Because they got that butter holding them in place. Hallelujah. All right, so she's ready to go in the fridge, and when I get home tonight, I'm gonna pop it in the oven, and then I'll give you a shot of what it looks like, plate it up. But this is literally one of the best casseroles I have made and have eaten. That's why I'm making it again, because I like it. So y'all make it, let me know how you like it. As always, the recipe is gonna be written out in the description box. But yeah, share this video if you like it. Give me a comment of your favorite casserole. Like it, subscribe if you're new. And this is going to be good right by itself. But everything's better with a biscuit. See y'all on the next one.